That's the original. So at this point, I'll turn it over to our program here. So, Jack and Jim, you're welcome to take it over here.
Well, good morning. Just going to do an update. Some of you weren't here last time. How many were here when I presented? How many were not here? Yeah, we got quite the mix. So, what I do is I promote the trades throughout Humboldt County with local high school students. And as many of you know, we do have a national crisis right now where students aren't getting interested in the trades. And so what my job is to promote it. I work with students that typically are in shop classes or ag. And what I have found is a lot of these students have no idea what exists out here for employment in the trade. They go to class, they may be enrolled in a wood shop class, but they don't know all the other possibilities. And taking these students out and them seeing all these different opportunities to them, those headlights come on. They go, oh wow, this is possible employment for me. And that's the idea of the program. So what we do is we do field trips to a lot of work sites and businesses throughout Humboldt County. Also bring in guest presenters. And it's just all about awareness. So the skills gap that we have, anybody hear that? Okay, so what is the skills gap?
Between the person and the skills they need to do the job.
Yeah, so what we've got is we've got I also call them the silver tsunami. You've got these people that have been in there so long in their business that there's nobody coming in behind to fill that gap, right? And working with students and getting awareness that there's actually great opportunity out there for them, that's really starting to work. So last year really was like the first year we really started this program. And what I'm here to do is to update you on where we're at. Okay, so things have come a long ways. We've got our website. This is the Trades Academy at hcoe.org. Feel free anytime to go check it out. All right, now you can move this thing. Two fingers. And at the bottom of the website, we've got these different things for the students to explore. And one of the first things that I do, kind of ended up as a career counselor for a lot of these students. And I aimed them right here. This does not like my finger. You just tap it. Or you can press left. Yeah. Okay, so if you take a look here, we've got all sorts of different opportunities, career videos, our blog, different resources in regards to our business partners, programs at CR for their career technical ed that they offer. Some students are ready to go right into a trade, some aren't. What's nice about CR, it gets them ready for that particular trade. It's a good time for them to explore. So we work with them promoting their programs also. We also have our blog. Okay. Just press enter.
Yeah.
That'll work.
It's slow.
It's just
It's
slow.
Hey.
It's 7:30.
It is not awake. All right, now I want to move this up. Anyway, so so this is just an example of some of the things that we do. McKinleyville High School right now, they are upgrading the whole track and field. Perfect opportunity for the building trade students to go ahead and check out what's going on there. So Pearson's company, they took some time and they showed the kids all about what they do in regards to the plans, the planning, the concrete, the permitting process. That takes a long time. what they're getting is this information directly from somebody who does this every day. And the questions I always ask with the students is what are you looking for somebody who wants to get employed with you? You know, why do you have to let certain employees go? If a student comes in with tools, does that help? The answer always is yes. And this is just one example. We've got many. You can scroll down. Keep going. On this blog, you're going to see a lot of the different things that we've done. We have Jim Ritter's program that he's going to be talking about here in a little bit. Actually, we're all under the same program. What am I saying? And keep going a little bit on that blog. Go ahead and hit 2. Yeah, so last year we ended with the Industrial Technology Show at HCOE, where we used a lot of local businesses as judges to look at students' work that they've done. We had a fantastic turnout. It was a great evening. A lot of these students left with awards and things like this, just so they get that pat on the back and understand what they're doing. It has a lot of relevance. And so this show has been, this is probably about the 30th year of it, and it's been a hit. So keep going down. Yeah, so one of the things that we added to this program is automotive. We're hearing from a lot of auto businesses, there's a shortage. They're not getting technicians. They're not actually getting anybody wanting to apply. And so a lot of these high schools that do have auto programs, we're bringing in industry, we're bringing in technicians to work with the students so they get an idea of some of these up-to-date technologies out there with vehicles. Even like this windshield repair guy, we brought him in because the student had a chip on his window. And this guy's making a great living just going around repairing chips. And you know, what was neat about these kind of things, though, is students start asking questions like, how do I get into this? How do I, what does it take for education? You know, and the other thing is what's happened is college has been pushed very hard. And what we want is we want it so that the trades and college are about the same level. Quite often it's college versus the trade. We want to see like this. So when it goes to the student, when we're selling this, there's validity in what they're doing. It's okay, it's good. They can spend 4 years getting trained in a particular trade, like college, and start progressing in that particular business. So, yeah, this is working out well. Some things that we've taken on this year is a lot of the alternative ed schools. So I'm working with charter schools now, also working with continuation and community day schools. Also, there's a lot more girls taking this program, which is neat. What's happened is it's word of mouth. You know, the first year was the pilot year. We had a few students, girls that got involved with the program, and they're telling their friends now, and it's really neat to see that population come up. So again, this program it's turning into a lot more than I ever imagined, which is great. We got a lot of momentum behind it. The Mad River Rotary, they're sponsoring this program for their fundraiser this year, November 2nd at the Blue Lake Casino. And I'm really tickled just how this has come about. It is grant to grant which supports this program. And so Mad River Rotary helping out, everybody getting the word out, business partners contributing financially, and especially just going out to these schools makes a big difference. So we appreciate your time today. If you do get a chance, please take a look at that website. There's some neat things. One last thing too, I've got a mobile lab I told you all about. You're starting to use that a lot more this year, especially with these charter schools. They don't have any shop classes. and students really like to work with their hands. And it's just, this job is nothing but positive. These kids are so happy when I pull in there and they're able to do a project. So right now we're starting out with wood projects, simple things such as they're making a little tool tote out of pine. But we're also going to be exploring things like metal. I taught shop for about 15 years, sorry. And metal was one of the things that I taught with auto. But there's just so many things for these students just to learn: plumbing, electrical, carpentry. Some schools, we're beautifying their schools. We're building planters around their schools or picnic tables. And these are opportunities that they never had. So just getting these kids out there working with their hands, learning how to measure. That's right now. That's what we're learning right now. It's huge. So we've got a lot of business partners that are extremely interested in this, because any bit that they put into this, down the road, they may be getting an employee out of it. So we really want to make sure that they're well, shaking hands with a possible future employer, breaking the ice. It's one of those things where a lot of students, they're scared. That first time going out meeting somebody, they're just not quite ready for it. And that's part of my job, is making this a good, positive experience. So, can we show one of those videos? Yeah, sound. So our comm center at HCOE, something else that we're doing is every subject area that I cover, I present a video to the students so they get an idea about some of these industries out there. So this video right here, this is one on metalworking. It interviews O&M Industries and I think Bay Tank. Also, it's kind of neat on this particular video. There's some graduates of mine that are working in industry. But we'll see what happens if we can get sound.
I have a question while you're working on that.
Yeah.
I was thinking in terms, you talked about tools and kids needing tools.
Whoa.
There we go. It's working. And would it
So this is for high school students, so you got
That's awesome. Yeah, go ahead. I'll ask that.
Okay.
That's for us.
My name is Justin Jackson, and my job position is the plasma operator here at Bay Tank. Well, today I programmed a seed for one concern. We did a test piece and cut it out to see how they would like the size. So on the computer, I draw it up and design it on the CAD program. From there, converts it into a G-code for the torchmate to read. You set the voltages, the dwells, the amperage, and the speed, and you just press the button and it cuts it out.
I schedule jobs for production. I do estimating, I do drawings, I call customers, I call vendors, I order material, and just try to keep the guys working.
My name is Chris Albright, O&M Industries. I'm the COO of the business. My job is to essentially work on the business and to improve our processes and procedures as a business as a whole.
Chris Macbeth, and I'm a project manager and run the sheet metal division here. I do a lot of the estimating, get plans come in from the different contractors or the builders exchange. I'll go through the plans, take off all the equipment and the material that's on there and come up with costs. I have to get everything ordered and schedule the guys to get all the work installed.
My name is Isaac Doan. I'm a lead fabricator at O&M Industries. We're building an RTO unit, stands for Reproductive Thermal Oxidizer. It does the same thing that a catalytic converter does in your car. It takes bad emissions and burns them and runs them through a filter before they exit into the atmosphere.
We're just doing certifications for a job we're doing in Eureka. We have to take these classes so we can make sure all of our welds are clean and that they're not going to break.
I was looking for something new, and I was always a woodworker by trade. Took some programs in CR, some CNC programs there, and welding class.
I was trying to find a good job with benefits and retirement and good health insurance. They didn't hire me right away. I came here every day for 2 weeks, and I told the lady Carol, her name was, in the front office, every day. I got my boots, I'm ready to work, and after 2 weeks of that, they hired me just to get me out of their hair.
I was just rated as a kid. Welding was an option that, through high school, I started taking welding. I've worked my way up. I started working here about 2 years ago. I was just a welder fabricator, and then they gave me a chance inside the office.
It's really nice to be able to see an outcome of what you do every day. The value of working with your hands, it's very, very rewarding.
It's more than just a paycheck. You know, you're here because you like what you do.
Study math.
Take math classes.
So went through a bunch of math classes in college and took a bunch of engineering classes.
Math is a real strong one.
Believe it or not, pay attention to math. I was all about welding, and I wanted to be a welder. Well, that's such a small part of this job. And that's what separates the guys that get paid a lot from the guys that don't.
Finish your education as far as you're gonna take it. Some guys out here, that means they got a GED. Some of them means they've got their high school diploma. It could be they graduated from CR, or we even got some that went to like HSU or something like that, and then just decided they like working with their hands. But the more education you have coming in, you can start out a little bit higher up.
We hire all range of employees, all range of school experience. It is a job that will be here for a long time into the future.
I feel secure knowing that I can go anywhere in this country, in the world, and have a good chance of getting a job in the industrial environment.
So and then, actually at the end of that, those credits, that was just, there's probably well over 50 of our business partners that roll after that. So that's just one of many of these videos that I show these students just when we start any subject study. So if you were interested in it, you might be now. Yeah, it's a really good program in regards to getting these guys, gals interested.
Yeah, I'm just thinking in terms of basic tools, I was thinking that there's so many people in this room and in the community that probably have way more tools than they ever need anymore. Is that something that, I mean, do you want them to have brand new stuff, or people have usable, good tools that they're not using? I mean, I just was thinking, because everybody has, trust me, you all, everyone except for me has tons of stuff they're not using. I have nothing that I'm not using. I mean, I have nothing, and I'm not using it. Well, I'm just curious if that was something that would be helpful.
I would say it depends on what the tool is.
Right.
What it could very well could be. I think that's a great idea. Something that I would like to do down the road would be possibly sponsor some students. You know, something like that, where let's say, I know like for contractors, if the student has their own tool belt and hammer and that kind of thing, those are things that they're immediately going to need. And if it's an auto technician, they will need their own set of tools. So things like that really do tend to help students when they start out. But no, that's it.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't say that we all should throw junk at it, but,
Yeah.
I mean, some people have a nice double set of tools and everything. I mean, they have more than they use.
Yeah, I like that kids.
Just a question about getting girls involved in it. The videos don't have very many girls in them.
Right.
And I've, through the years, I'm an engineer, went to HSU, but I've gone through trade schools too, just because I was interested in it, and welding classes and a bunch of classes at CR. And there are some girls in those classes, but not a lot. I mean, I think it's really important to encourage, girls, young women to see this as a viable career option. And what can be done to really encourage them, especially at a younger age, to get engaged?
So when I was teaching, I actually got to a point where I had a class that was actually, there was one boy in it out of 24. So there are ways. And from a teaching standpoint, it's number one is it's got to be a safe environment.
Right.
If it's something where they walk in, they feel welcome, right? And that they feel like they're safe, they're not out of place. That's sometimes things that I've heard from girls. It's like, there's so many guys in here, it's weird, right? But what it takes is, like I told this one gal that said that, I said, you're right, but if you start coming to this class and you bring your friends in, will you feel more comfortable? She said, yeah, bring them on in. So it's things like that, letting them know that this is a safe, fun environment to be in, and you can make great money down the road. So yeah.
I was a teacher for more than 40 years, and when Los Alamitos unified the schools, one of the first things they did is they put together a committee for career education. And I was selected to be on the committee. I was the new kid on the block. So there are districts all around the state that have K-12 curriculum for careers. And one of the things we could do is find out what fits best for these local schools and go and present it to them. And then they do in-services with their teachers. And from kindergarten to 12th grade, every teacher has something along the lines of careers that they can talk to their students with, no matter what subject area.
Yeah, and actually one of the things that I'm doing now with the K-8, these videos, things like that, sharing this curriculum with them, just to get it started early. When they know that this opportunity exists, younger, that gets them into these shop classes too. And then for farther down the road, like CR and whatnot, what a great opportunity for them. So yeah, I know, like Tom, you had one last year, and she's a CR right now. I saw Claire just the other day. She's loving it. But yeah,
awesome.
Yeah, she was our poster child. Yeah.
What are the options for summer jobs? I mean, my first job was crawling around in attics putting insulation, and it was awful, but it showed me what a job was.
Absolutely.
And now it seems like high school kids are competing with people trying to feed a family for food service jobs. Are you seeing any possibilities for summer employment with these companies?
Absolutely, and also Jim's going to share more with you in a little bit about what we're doing for that. Typically, the issue now is comp. It wasn't a big deal when I was growing up, but comp tends to be always any employer. You're going to bring the student into my business. What if they get hurt? But there are ways around that through education. So yeah, there is definitely some possibilities.
Well, in summertime right now, there's such a shortage that we're taking people on that we've become the training grounds of a lot of employers, but summer work is, we have a lot of it. Everybody, there's a shortage everywhere across the country.
Do you also provide some training for these students on how to run their own business, how to be their own boss, how to file their taxes, how to take care of their comp, is that part of their training?
So really right now we're concentrating on soft skills just to get them in the door. So soft skills, that's the handshake, the interviewing, the resume, that part of it right now. The entrepreneur part of it, I think that's a great facet that could be part of this program I really do. Because there's a lot of, if you look at Humboldt County, how many small businesses there are throughout here. We have a ton of them. And if you've got somebody that has that initiative to go for it, and they got some training, yeah, I think it's a good one.
Jack, how do we get kids involved with your program? I mean, so if somebody's interested or we want to let them know about your program, how do they contact you, basically?
So there's many ways. All the high schools know about my program. The counselors all know about my program. That's one, the counselors. Also, all of the ag and CTE teachers, I work with all of them. And so those are the main ones that I'm working with now. It's just me, and it's a huge county. So it was interesting. We ran off somewhere around 150 applications to the program, and we're out. We've got to make more copies. And if any student shows any interest in this, I'm more than happy to work with them any way I can. So just, they can contact the counselor. I also, on the website, it's got my contact. So yeah, not a problem.
And then how many students can you handle? I know like you take a lot of field trips and things like that. Do you select from different groups?
So the way it works with the field trips and things like that, it's really the teacher recommendation. There may be an interest, say, in running equipment. And others may be more into doing something like electrical, so they're really not interested in it. So the teacher and the student, they talk, I come in and talk with them, and then I put the field trip together. That's how we do it. So I really want to bring students that are serious with me that want to learn about it. So yeah, that's how it works.
So one of the most innovative programs I've heard about is one that's down in Salinas right now, where a judge has funded a diversion program for troubled youths. Kids that get in trouble or looking like they're having a career in crime, he's got tired of seeing them come through the court all the time. So he set up a program, and he brings in, and they actually go to a retreat, if you will, and they have a learning center up there. And they teach construction skills as well as restaurant skills and other things, and that's part of their program, is to get retrained into something that they can do with their hands and kind of change their whole life and come out of that. So there's a lot of things that are being thought of these days to bring kids in. But a lot of times these kids that are getting in trouble aren't successful in school and traditional environments, and having that opportunity to learn trades or skills that puts them back out in the street with income opportunities is amazing.
That's so true. You know, I was a continuation high principal before this, and alternative ed, working with these students at high risk, getting them into something they feel successful is huge. And if you can just teach them something that down the road, especially construction or woodworking or any of these trades like this, that could be a possible job. So yeah, programs like that, like mine, working with alternative ed sites, especially the continuation community students, those are the ones for me. They take a little more time, but those are the ones that we really need to put a lot of time into. Yeah, and last year I had 5 from Arcata, their continuation school that I worked with, and right at the end of the year I got some jobs. So most of them are still working there. It blows my mind. But yeah, they really, I check in every once in a while, see things how they're going on.
I have one last question. Do you get pushback from parents who say, my kid's got to go to college?
You know, I haven't, because I'm directly working with the student and the teacher. What goes on at home, that's a whole other thing. And you know, like I said, I feel a trade and college, they should be looked at equally. And, you know, it really depends on the student.
You know, so you don't have orientation for like the parents, like here's our program. I mean, you have this great information here, but do you actually conduct an orientation?
So what I typically do is I just do an orientation to the class. And I have limited numbers too. I can't take a huge number of students in for every site. Maybe down the road we can. take another person. But right now, the orientation is just going directly to these schools or classes, and that's how I'm handling that right now. But yeah, down the road, we'd love to open it up. Yeah. All right, what about time?
Do you mind sticking around for some questions?
Yeah, I know, that sounds great. Yeah, if you got any questions afterward, please come by, we'll talk more. One last thing before I turn it over to Jim. I'm gonna put my fire department hat on. So Philbrook Fire Department thanks you all for your donation for our repeater. We over in Philbrook, we have horrible reception, especially down towards the end of the valley. And your group put some money towards our repeater project. And so we're hoping to get that repeater up and running in November. And we will have our own tactical channel and everything, and should be really good. So thank you very much. Okay.
Jack, sit on your side. Jack, before you sit down there, thank you very much for the presentation. Appreciate the updates. You're always welcome to that back, and looks like there's a lot of people engaged with the Trades Academy.
Fantastic.
Find ways to engage with the organization. We made a donation on your behalf to the Wheelchair Foundation, so thank you very much.
Fantastic. Thank you very much, everybody.
Right on.